I have to talk for a few minutes, so you're gonna have to be quiet. Okay. Hi guys, Caitlin Kramer here. It is Sunday, January 30th, and hopefully, whether you're watching the call now or you're watching the recording, we hope that we can give you some good tips leading into. She's going to distract the ever living crap out of me, so this is gonna be fun. Hopefully we can give you guys some good tips as far as moving into your month of February. And the thing that we kind of decided we wanted to chat about a little bit with you guys is routine, but not in the sense that maybe we all think about, because we were kind of talking about it earlier. Like, we all have like our version of a routine that works for us. It helps us to stay consistent and get through our day and, you know, reach our goals and all of those things. But when you compare one to the other, they are nothing alike. Like, our, you know, everybody's life is so different depending on your schedule and your circumstances with your kids and like all these things. Thank you. That was so nice of you to get out of the way. So we thought that we would just kind of share our own personal perspectives when it comes to how we deal with routine, and hopes that maybe it'll give you some tips, or at least have you thinking outside of the box when it comes to creating consistency for yourself for this coming month. So it's actually quite fitting that my daughter is hanging out here with me while I do this call, because I started to think about this whole routine thing earlier, and I don't have one.
Yeah,
like at all right now. Hey, we'll talk about that later. I have no routine right now, and I have not had a routine in like over a year and a half at this point, and I have still been able to remain consistent. I still work out every day. I still, you know, I've followed food. I mean, I had a lot of success mentally and physically in this last year, but it was like literally like my life was just in complete and utter chaos. Like, there was, I mean, we had a lot of vacations. We were out of town a lot. I was traveling between Tennessee and Michigan a lot. I went through a divorce, or at least got started with a divorce. I dealt with a lot of emotional ups and downs. I had her in a school program down south for a bit, and then we yanked her and brought her up here. And then I was just full-time momming and trying to do some stuff with her at home. And then we got her into a situation where now she goes to a school situation up here. Like, nothing. There has not been a single day of my life as of recently where it's the same one day to the next. It just isn't. And so for me, I had to flip the script, because I very much was that person that I was a perfectionist, and things had to be a certain way, and I needed to work out at such and such time. And, you know, if I didn't get the workout in at that point in time, it's like, well, there goes the day. There's no getting it in. Well, that mindset, or, you know, like with food, like I need to get my meals like this, and this, you know, I have to do all the containers. Everything had to be just so. And it was like, okay, well, I kind of got to the point where it's like, life is completely and utterly insane, and I will never reach any kind, or never take any kind of steps forward if I need it to be a certain way. So I basically just completely and utterly did a 180, in that I kind of switched to this perspective where it's like, okay, you know, nothing in life is consistent. I have no routine. I literally have no idea what challenges I'm going to have from one day to the next. I mean, at least now, like, our living situation, I know where we're at. So like, I don't have to worry about like, do we need to get a hotel or something tonight? But the way that I flipped my perspective was that I made a point to make the only consistency I had in my life working out and keeping up with my food. And it didn't matter when I was going to do it. It didn't matter in what capacity. Like, for me, like, I got to a point where like that whole like giving yourself grace thing, I got real legit with it, because it didn't matter if I got in 10 minutes of a workout, or I did the whole thing, or if I gave like 10% of my effort with food, or if I nailed it that day. It just checked off the box. If I did my best, then I checked off the box. That was my consistency for the day. And then the rest, just, you know, fuck off. Like, it's just shambles. Like, it was just shambles. So for me, just doing that on a day-to-day basis was what helped me to stay grounded and to stay centered. And I think sometimes, you know, my last thought on this is, I think so much of the time we get it in our heads that like life is too crazy. Like even before you started any of this, before you even enrolled to start with this, it's like, life's too crazy right now for me to like do this. Or I was doing really well, but then, like there's just a lot going on and I need to back off. I need to, I need to stop this, or I need to just completely take a break or something. And for me, I don't know, like there was some sanity to it in that. I mean, I wasn't trying to I couldn't tell you like how many workouts I have not completed. Like there's so many of them that I have not done the whole thing. I mean, obviously it still works as far as like your health goes. Like, I mean, it's not like it kept me from my, from my goals or my progress or anything, but making a point to make that my quote unquote consistency, my quote unquote routine, just to do whatever it is that I was capable of doing that day, and just making sure I did that every day. That was what kept me grounded and then got me to the point where I am. I mean, I'm the most consistent I've ever been in my entire life. Like I feel like when it comes to like the spectrum of people in general, I feel like I'm up there with not missing a workout ever. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to do the whole thing, but I'm certainly going to check the box off for that day. So that's what I have. And I have no idea what order we're going in here. So is it Mindy? It's Mindy. Yeah. It's awesome.
All right. So it has been a hot minute since I have spoke on a call. And I think part of that has to do with just my crazy life right now and my crazy schedule. So with work has been insane lately. It started to kind of get crazy around September, October timeframe, and then it like catapulted from there. So it's been a long time since I've been on a call, but I feel like it's a really good time to rein it in and talk on this call because we're talking about mindset. We're talking about consistency. So even when my work was extra crazy, and I'm talking about like 60, 70 hours a week at work, I still was diligent about making sure that I got my workout in, making sure that I meal prep, making sure that I had my lunches and everything ready to go. And I stayed extremely consistent. Was a good thing because I spent some extra time with my kids. But then when I jumped back into working out after the first of the year, it was like I had never worked out a day in my life. I am telling you, I was more sore than I had ever been in my whole life. And I was like, what in the heck? And up until that point, I had been in like such super good shape. So I thought about that in the last couple of weeks, and I'm like, man, like we as coaches know how important it is to be consistent. We know how important it is to stick to our routine, but like I am proof that even just a couple weeks off, like it totally makes a difference. And I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and he was like, yeah, maybe 1 week you can kind of squeak by and like you can jump right back into it. And he was like, any longer than that, you're going to see like you're going to have issues. And I'm like, I 100% had issues. So I jumped back into it full force, got back up and going. And after the first week, when, things kind of from a physical standpoint, got back to where I needed to be, I was fine. But mindset wise, I feel like that was the other piece of it that I was kind of like, all right, I totally slipped out of the mindset. I totally like stepped back a couple of feet and was like, all right, I was spending time with kids. I was doing what I needed to do, but I was not where I wanted to be, like personally and mindset wise. And I'm the type of person that I have to have structure. I have to have my agenda. I have to have my planner. I have to have all of that in line for me to feel like I am accomplishing something or that I am where I need to be. Like that is just my personality type. So I got back to filling out my planner, making sure that I'm doing the things that I want to do, making sure that I am checking off my boxes. I'm a box checker. I'm a list maker. That's just the person I've always been. So making sure that I like got back into that, like that helps me feel like I am taking care of myself and doing what I want to do. Like I have to make that list and I have to check those boxes off. So more recently here, I am going through a bit of a life change. And if you have watched any of our coach calls before that we've had, or any of our topics that we had before, like I am the person who it's either all or nothing. I tend to be the person who I am either in it or I'm not. So I am in another point in my life where I am making a major life change and I am moving, I'm changing jobs again, and I am committing to myself that I'm going to focus on me, because I know when I am in that position where things all around me are chaos and they're crazy, I have to focus on me. I have to make sure that I am doing what I need to do for me. So in the past, it was when I was changing jobs, moving my kids, divorce, new career, those types of things were the things that motivated me and that made me focus and like laser focused on making sure that I was taking care of myself, because I knew I had to. I knew that everything around me was chaos, so I had to take care of myself. And I've had a couple of those times in life where a lot of things around me were changing, and this is another one of those. And I think it's very easy for me as an introvert to want to pull back and to want to kind of shrink away from the community and just like reaching out to the people that we have around us that help support us. And I have learned over the last couple of years that like that is the absolute opposite of what we should be doing. And I am trying to lean in, because even though that is like so far against my nature to lean into people when things get crazy, because I'm an introvert and I want to just like pull back and like get totally inside my head and get totally within myself, that I can't do that. Like I have to make sure that I put myself out there and continue to reach out, because that's what I know fills my cup and makes me able to grow both physically and just emotionally and with everything. So things are kind of crazy right now for me, but from a mindset standpoint, like I know when I slid back a little bit around December, it did not serve me well. It from a both personally and as a coach, it didn't work. So I know that I need to lean in order to get through the changes that are happening and continue to make improvements, continue to feel good, continue to grow with my own journey, both physically and just mentally and spiritually. Like that's what I have to do. So I will continue with that. And just know that when things are crazy and you feel like you want to pull back, you can't. You have to lean in. And we've talked about that like a lot before, but really honestly, lean into the group, because we're all here to support each other and we are all here to kind of cheer each other on. And that's what we need. And that's the community that we need. And like, I know that I can always fall back on these girls. I can fall back on Kate. I can fall back on Corey. And I'm always going to get that support that I need to make sure that like I personally am reaching my goals and I am supported and just loved, because that's what we're here for. We're here to support you. We're here to love you guys. So I'll pass it off to Corey.
What's up, everybody? Sorry, I dropped off for a second. Our Wi-Fi is super awesome sometimes. So I actually was supposed to start off with celebrating you babes who crushed January and shared what you were celebrating. But full disclosure, my day did not go at all according to plan. So I was finishing my 75 hard walk at 6:45, folded laundry and made 5 shakes for tomorrow, and then sat down on my computer. So I'm going to talk, and then I'll kind of close the call with celebrating you girls. So that way we just kind of keep the flow going. But if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Corey Mayo. I'm one of the mama bears that helps run the group. And we're just really excited for those of you who have already been in the group and are rocking steps towards your goals. But also super excited to welcome a lot of new girls in for February. It's going to be a great month because it's really focused around creating intentions with self-care and self-love. And I think that that is a great opportunity because look, like we were through the holidays and the fresh start of the year, and you're still kind of trying to settle into a routine after the holidays, and life is still kind of crazy. But usually by February, we're all kind of like leveling out a little bit. We've recovered from the holidays a little bit, so we can settle into a little bit of a routine. And that can look so different for all of us. You guys got to hear from Caitlin and Mindy. They're in both transitional seasons right now. So life is going to look very different, maybe day to day, maybe week to week. And we want you to know that that's okay. Life does not pause and perfectly align for you to figure out a routine for yourself and to start taking care of yourself and then go back to normal once you have it figured out. And you probably already kind of know that because my guess is most of you or all of you have tried to do this before. You've kind of stumbled through and tried to figure out a routine and maybe just haven't found that we'll call balance, although I don't believe there's ever perfect harmony or balance in anything in life. There are seasons of life that you can dedicate more time and attention to certain areas of life, and a little bit of attention is taken from others, where sometimes the attention goes back to those other areas and the attention kind of pulls away from something else that you maybe were focusing on the month before. So I want you to think about that. I want you to let go of that perfection and that this path is going to be a straight and narrow linear path, because it's not going to be. Life never is, right? So we go through different seasons in life. These girls are going through transitional seasons. They have some major life changes happening right now, but they're doing their best. They're showing up for themselves, which is amazing. And that's all any of us can do. Not perfect, not checking every single box every day, but at least keeping our promise to do our best and get some of the things that we promised ourselves that we would do each day, right? For me, I'm not in a major transitional phase, but we lead a very, very busy life. Okay. I am a hockey mom. We are in the thick of several tournaments back to back where we're traveling weekends. And that just throws the whole course. When you're gone for 2 or 3 days at a time, it just throws the course of the day off, or the next week off, right? Because you're just trying to play catch up, and then we leave again. And then we're trying to play catch up, and then we leave again. So there's no perfect balance in our life either. It's just different. It's a different kind of imbalance, right? So for me, something that has always really worked, I'm very much like Mindy, where I need a lot of structure. I crave structure. I like to know exactly what I'm doing. So every Sunday, I sit down with my planner that plans out each week, a week at a time. And for me, you guys, I've been at this for 10 years. So my workout happens before my kids go to school. Sometimes it's at 4:30 in the morning. Sometimes it's at 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it's at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's wherever it fits that day. Sometimes the day, things happen. But my schedule, like my me time, starts at 4:30 in the morning and goes till about 7:30 in the morning when I have to get showered and put my mom hat on. Okay. So where my workout fits in that area somewhere along the way. But then I block out the rest of my time. What does the rest of the week look like? So if you're not doing that, you guys carve out time for work. You put your kids' events on the schedule, when they need to be at practices, when they maybe have to stay after school, when they have to do certain things. But we so often forget to put time for us on that schedule, right? So what I'm encouraging you to do to help you settle into a routine, and you guys, this doesn't have to be 6 or 7 days a week. It can be 3 or 4 days to start, so that you don't feel like you're taking on the world to create change. Okay. Start scheduling 20 to 30 minutes in your schedule for you, just like you do your kids' events. If you have a doctor's appointment, your work schedule, Corey time for 20 minutes from 5 a.m. until 5:20 a.m., whatever that looks like for you, but put it on the calendar and make that promise to yourself that you're going to start showing up in little pockets of time. And it will evolve from there, you guys. The three of us that are speaking tonight didn't start where we are today. When I first started working out and trying to find a routine, it was at 8:30 at night after we put our son to bed, and we would go down in the basement, work out, come up and shower, and go straight to bed because I was not a morning person. You were not getting me up out of bed before that baby was awake, because if the baby was sleeping, I was sleeping, type of thing, right? So I want you to think about when it's going to fit into your schedule for this season in life. It may look different in 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 3 months. But right now, when does it work for you to carve out that time? Creating the plan, life goes in seasons. We have ebbs and flows. I already kind of talked about that. I want you to remember that we can have that little seed of mom guilt that we're taking time away from maybe the family, or maybe we're taking time away from our husband or a significant other. Maybe you guys like to veg out and watch TV, but you're like, I want to start making some time for me. So maybe that takes 20 or 30 minutes away from that time, something like that. I want you to remember that there's a reason that when you're on the airplane and they tell you those little masks are going to come down, they tell you to put yours on first so that you have oxygen and then you can help the person next to you. You guys, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you are depleted and you are stressed all the time, your family is getting what's left of you, not the best of you. So start carving out that time to increase your energy, to lift your mood, to create some more happiness in your life, more confidence in your life, so that you have more patience with your children, so that you feel better when you get dressed to go on a date with your husband, so that you just feel more confident in who you are as a person. Don't let that, you taking some time for you, let you feel guilty. It's also setting the paving the way for your children, especially if you have girls, to love and honor their bodies and take care of themselves by leading by example. Okay. And I have 2 boys, and I have a little one who is very aware and self-conscious. It is so important to lead by example, to speak kindly to ourselves, because they hear it, you guys. So learning to shift our words and make sure we're taking care of us. Okay. I just want to touch on a little bit, make sure you're tracking. Okay. There are so many ways of tracking. I know the scale is like the big one. Oh, I don't see the number moving. Okay. That's one tool, one out of a lot of other ones. Okay. Maybe your skin is brighter. Maybe you're breaking out less. Maybe your menstrual cycle is better than it used to be. Your measurements in general, not just the scale. How are your clothes fitting? Are you going to the bathroom more regularly and feeling lighter and less bloated? How is your energy? Are you sleeping better? Like tonight when you get off this call, or tomorrow before you dive into your workout, take 3 minutes. Write down how you feel. What's your attitude like? What's your energy level like? How did you sleep? Write those things down. What was your patience like with your children? Start tracking different things so that you can, in another week, go back and say, oh, today I feel, and you can say, okay, maybe the scale moved a little bit, or maybe not at all yet, because your body's going through an adjustment period. But you can say, I slept so much better last night. I'm able to go to the bathroom a little bit more regularly. I feel like I have more energy. I'm not crashing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon like I used to. Those are all good indicators that we're on the right path. Now, I said a week. You can compare them week to week, but you guys, this change is not going to happen in a week. I'm just telling you. Sorry to burst the bubble, but depending on what level of change you are looking for, it can take a year. But that doesn't mean that you're not feeling better or, excited and living a better lifestyle within that year, right? We have to give ourselves time to blossom. When you plant a seed, you don't have a flower the next day. You have to water it and grow it and allow and nourish it and give it the things that it needs to blossom and grow. That's what we're doing by keeping our promise, fueling our bodies with good foods, showing up in our workouts, empowering our minds with good positivity, and doing personal development and keeping our promise. Is we're nourishing, we're feeding that good seed, we're feeding that health seed, we're giving ourselves more energy. Okay, so I just want you to think about those things. And personal development is the last thing. This is something that I avoided like the plague. I thought, oh, I don't even know what I thought. I think I was too naive to even like know what personal development was, but I avoided it like it was like that meant that there was something wrong with me. Guys, there's nothing wrong with you because we're encouraging you to do personal development. There is a lot of stuff wrong in our world. The way that we take in information, the things that we hear throughout the day, things that we were told when we were kids that we still carry with us to this day, all of those things make up who we are right now. That's why we encourage you to do personal development and get into a book that is going to empower you to create the change that you're looking for. And there are all kinds of personal development out there, you guys. There's stuff from mindset to spiritual to nutrition, all kinds of stuff. If you want some help in identifying what would be good for you, simply reach out to one of us or ask in the group. There is a file in the group that has some of our favorites that are really, really good starting points. Okay. And if you don't have time to read, because I get that too, you're about to fall asleep as you're reading, listen to a podcast. Get audibles. You can listen to things while you're getting ready in the morning or when you go for a walk or while you're folding laundry or while you're cooking dinner. There's so much opportunity that we can carve that into our day. Okay. And the last thing before I celebrate the girls who shouted themselves out on the post. Yes, Mindy says personal development is so critical. It is. It is because everything starts and stops up here. Whether you believe that you can or you can't, whether you tell yourself you can get up when that alarm goes off the first time, whether or not you choose to stock the house with good foods, that all starts in this little game that we play in our heads. Okay, so make sure you're diving into personal development. I just wanted to give you guys a couple action items to do before tomorrow, or you can do them tomorrow or even Tuesday. Take your before pictures, okay? And if you're finishing a program, then it would be your after picture for that program and the beginning or the before picture for the next one, right? So take your pictures. There are goodbye pictures because we're gonna make some transformations. We're gonna take some steps forward. And I'm not saying just physically, but take the pictures. The first thing I look at in a before and after picture is not the physical. It's the smile in the eyes. What do the eyes look like? Are they beaming? Usually in the after picture, you see this sparkle in the eyes and the smile is bigger and their shoulders are rolled back and the confidence that is exuded in the after picture. Now y'all are going to start watching that. It is life-changing. So take the picture, take your stats so you know what your measurements are. Take your weight because that is a tool, and I want you to write down how you're feeling right now. Remember, I talked about sleep, energy, attitude, patience. How are you feeling with all of those things? Okay, and mark them down, and we're going to reevaluate them at the end of the month. Okay, so since I neglected to have my thoughts all together, I did put a post in the group for the girls who have already been a part of the group and starting with January. And I have a couple of them here, so I'm just going to read them really quick. Caitlin said she's super proud of sticking with 75 hard. I have definitely not been motivated to do it at all. but I'm still showing up. The cold outdoor workouts are character building for sure. Yes. I just did my outdoor workout at 6 o'clock at night, and it's cold and dark. And I was like, oh, but I got to do it. So I did. Dawn is, I'm proud I finished 6:45, and she is rocking job 1. So that's awesome. Patrina wasn't able to make it on the call tonight. She said, I'm proud I've been remembering to think about what I'm grateful for each day. That is a big one. Starting your day with 3 things that you are grateful for, you guys, will totally shift your perspective. And then Katie, she was supposed to help lead the call, if you remember correctly, but unfortunately her daughter is not feeling well, and she started not feeling very well after snuggling with her all day. So we're hoping that they feel better tomorrow. But she shared that she is proud of pushing myself more physically this month. I have completed my bonus runs and ab workouts every week for 4 weeks now. That's awesome. Figuring out how to push and challenge myself in a way that doesn't lead to burnout has been hard, but I'm feeling like I'm finally figuring it out and focusing on what works for me. And you guys, I'm going to leave it at that, but that's exactly what this is about. It's not about keeping up with Caitlin or Mindy or myself. It's about finding what works for you, what makes you feel good, what fills your cup up, what workout empowers you. We are all so different. And that's the beauty of what we offer. There's literally something for everyone, you guys, between Body and all the live classes now and all the different programs and different routines. There's literally something for all of you. So play around with it. Find what you love to do. If it's dancing, do the dancing programs. Do Let's Get Up or Size or Country Heat. If you like lifting and you want to lift heavier, then look at one of the programs that's lifting heavier, like 645 or 80-Day Obsession or Hammer and Chisel. If you want something that's, you know, a little bit faster paced than anything Autumn or like Jennifer Jacobs Job 1, there's literally something for everyone. So we are so excited to get started in February with you girls. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'm going to get this recording up and posted in the group. For you girls who are on live, we love and appreciate you. We are excited to see you continue rocking your goals next month. And I'm just gonna check the chat because there is 2 little things there. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, so Mindy, when she said personal development is critical, she also said it makes a huge difference in your progress. Absolutely. And consistency. It helps you stay on track. So, all right, girls,